Welcome to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast, with your hosts, Mike Menino and Nariman Hamden, bringing you insights and stories on achieving personal, professional, and financial success.
Hi, this is Michael Menino with Driven Unscripted Success podcast. And today we got Ciro Amato. He's a very interesting individual that's now in Naples, Florida, from Naples, Italy. He hasn't traveled too far from Naples. It's actually pretty cool. He owns a restaurant. We were just talking about the restaurant business. It's a lot of fun, very rewarding, but it's a lot of work. I remember when I did it with my dad, it was tough back in the day. Ciro, give everybody a quick snapshot of what you do and where you're at in your journey and how you got there.
Well, I've been in the restaurant business my whole life. My family, we grew up in the restaurant business. My dad had places in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Florida, East Coast of Florida, West Coast of Florida. And then we landed here in Naples in 1992, and we had an Italian restaurant. It was called Nonna Maria Italian Restaurant. And I was there until 1999. And then I came into Goldie's breakfast and lunch here in Naples. I opted for a different life because in a bar Italian restaurant, you're married to the restaurant, and my kids were young and they were growing up, and I wasn't there to watch it. So I decided, you know what, I'm done with the family business. I'm going to go out on my own, with my parents, blessing, and I did. And I purchased this in 1999, and it was already existing, but it wasn't really doing much. And then I've had it for 25 years. I've implemented a lot of my chef skills and different, from scratch type things. And it's also very simple. We're not here reinventing the wheel, but I discovered that service is the number one thing in the restaurant business. So we focus on that, which in turn makes the food better. And then adding value with, one of the least expensive restaurants in town. We've been here for 25 years, and we started off doing 100 people a day. And now in the season time, we'll do up to 700 plus people a day out of a little 50-seat restaurant. We implemented delivery, to-goes, online ordering. We've tried to keep up with all the trends. That's pretty much what I've been doing, what I've done.
Well, don't minimize this a lot. So what you did in our industry, we do multifamily investing, and when we look at a property and it's not being run right, we call that a value add. So we flip too. So, but in the multifamily space, you find an apartment that is not working real well, and then you buy it and you fix it up and it's worth a ton more money. But you've done that and lasted 25 years in the industry. That is no joke. I mean, you gotta really understand how pivotal what you did is. I mean, there's not a lot of what we call mom and pop shops that have been open for 25 years. Kudos to you for doing that. And I'm sure you've
in Naples, Florida, to boot.
In Naples, Florida, even.
Yeah, which is a tough market here. I mean, there's a lot of competition and a lot of transient, people, and restaurants open and then they close, and
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think it's an 80% failure rate in restaurants when they open.
Yeah.
Some ridiculous numbers. So, kudos to you for doing it and doing it for 25 years. I think the number goes exponentially down. I'm not sure, and somebody's gonna have to, I'm sure somebody in our audience is gonna check these numbers. Though it's 80% in the 80s, and then after 5 years it drops to 85, and then after 10 years it drops to 90% failure rate. Which,
right.
Bravo, man, bravo.
Right.
There's a lot. Now here's question number 2. There's a lot of people doing what you do. Obviously, there's a lot. What is your secret sauce? What sets you apart in your business that most people don't do?
So that's a great question. We tried to hit all of the 4 major things. So, in my opinion, when you give a review to a restaurant, there's a misconception about what a 5-star review is. A 5-star review for some people is, oh, it's got to be a fancy place, it's got a high dollar, you have to give it, they with the guys are wearing the steam pipe hat and the little thing and he's all dressed up. That's a 5-star restaurant. No, that's a Michelin star restaurant. That type of thing. For me, there's service, food, value, atmosphere, and then overall experience. Those are the 5 stars. So for us, we have over 1,100 Google reviews, and that's like insane. That's
It is.
by far, that's just Google, not to mention Yelp, TripAdvisor, all the other review sites, our own independent online ordering review site. So you're talking thousands of reviews, and we hit service. What I've come to figure out as a chef, there's a little ego involved. So you want to say, well, it's about the food. It's got to be about the food because I'm the one making the food, right? So it's got to be the
Right.
food's got to be the number one thing. I really came to find out later on. I go, no, this is about the customer service. And when we started focusing on customer service, it really changed the way the food tastes. We're at breakfast. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're not doing anything crazy with biscuits and gravy or bacon and sausage. Eggs are eggs, pancakes are pancakes. I mean, there's really not much you can do. And we started really focusing on service. And if you look at any of our reviews, it's all about service. The first thing they say is the service is amazing, and which in turn makes the food better, which in turn, then you add the value if you're competitive in the market, and you're not trying to take advantage of people. There's value, which leads, the atmosphere. Does it look clean inside? Is it noisy? Is it not noisy? Are the bathrooms clean? These are all things that have to be paid attention to, which in turn leads to the overall experience. And sometimes we'll get all these 5-star reviews and people will comment. Some people will comment, well, it's not really a 5-star restaurant. It's breakfast and lunch. They're okay. I just like, oh, that's your opinion. That's fine. But
Well,
at the end,
I think they're confusing the like you said, the Michelin star reviews are a review is how great the restaurant is, right? And for Google, Yelp, and all those other ones. But is there a gauge? Isn't there like a friend of mine had a restaurant and food critic came in and tried to mess with the staff and tried to be problematic and they took care of her great, and then she said at the end, she goes, you're gonna have to staff up. And he said, why? He goes, I'm a reviewer, and as soon as I put what I'm putting down, because you knocked it out of the park, you're gonna be busy as all outdoors. And they were. So the service is probably the 5-star reviews and the food. I mean, like you said, all the pillars, but then it's a dining out, take your wife out to anniversary kind of place that they're getting it confused with,
right. Exactly.
right?
Exactly. That's yeah. And so the day of the single reviewer that comes into the restaurant, now everybody's a reviewer. So we've created with this online experience and social media, we've created where everybody is a reviewer, and it becomes a separate thing because it's their experience. It's the same thing when a guy here, there was a local guy, his name was Jean LaBouffe was the pseudo name that they used for this guy, and he would show up to these restaurants, and again, it was all his experience. And if you didn't know, he came secretly, so you didn't really know. After a while, you got to be able to
That's
tell by what he was ordering, But then he would leave you a review, and then everybody would want to try the restaurant out. But like Guy Fieri was just here and did a few restaurants here in town this past week. And the place is incredible. Response from being on diners, drive-ins, and dives. That just propels you. But then then you have to bring it. So when you see 5-star restaurants like this, Jean LaBouffe would put a 5-star restaurant, it raised the level of expectation for what this restaurant was supposed to. Oh, really? Jean LaBouffe said it was a 5-star restaurant. Let's go see if it is. And then next thing you know, they're trashing you because you're a 5-star restaurant. I used to say when I had the Italian restaurant, 4.5 stars is fine. I don't want to be a 5-star restaurant.
Well, how many stars you have with it? What'd you have? 1,100?
1,100 reviews we have, but we have 4.7 or 4.8, something like that.
That's you can't make everybody happy. That is
No.
bravo. Just bravo.
Yeah. For Google, just on Google.
Well, that's still, we have a couple companies and one of them's got a 5-star rating, but it's only 40 people. Big difference.
Right.
We can make 40 people happy.
Exactly.
You can't make 1,100 people happy. Period.
Right. And and there's people that are they're competitors, and then they don't like because we're less expensive than everybody else, and they want to try there's those type of things. There's the bots that they'll leave a review, or it's some of them are not. I try to report as many as I can that I don't feel are valid reviews.
People are having a bad day.
Yeah, that too. Again, if they're having a bad day, then or they leave a 1-star review because we didn't give them the right change back or something.
The toast wasn't dark enough for them.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, everybody has an experience, and it's not for me to validate or disvalidate their experience. That's their experience. Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
but 4.7 stars is amazing for Google. It is amazing. It's I don't know of another restaurant that's getting anything like that, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, it's definitely good.
So if someone listening to us wants to get better at what you're doing and get good at what you do, what do you suggest they do? What are the tips that you would give? I know one person, I remember at a restaurant, the waitress made us really happy, and then she handed us a QR code that had the Google review website. So you click it and you put a review on. And I'm assuming that they would give it to the people that they, that really had a great experience. What's those tips and tricks that you would do to get that 4.7? That's a huge hit. That's a huge one. Kyra. Hello.
100% organic. I don't believe in if you have a bad experience, let me know what the bad experience. And if you're going to write a review and it's a 1-star, just say, "Oh, we didn't like it." Tell me what it is that you didn't like. I mean, if you're going to review a place, review it with, "I didn't like this. I didn't like that. I didn't like the service. They were, I didn't get my coffee refilled." Because then I can go back to my people and say, "Hey, we kind of need to watch this."
Right.
But if you just say, "Oh, I don't like it," don't know what the big attraction is, but I didn't like it. How am I supposed to grow from that? So our thing is that we maintain what it is that we're doing. We don't fall off of the wagon. Okay, so like for our takeout and our delivery, we have a 98% success rate with not screwing up orders. And if we do screw up, like they forget a bag of French fries or they sent out the wrong item, they bagged it wrong, we stop everything that we're doing and we fix the problem.
Nice.
Stop everything. And I tell my people, stop everything you're doing, fix the problem, and then get back to work. It doesn't pay to keep having more and more and more problems. And I went to a restaurant here locally. I won't give the name of the restaurant, but this was a couple years ago. I ordered it was 8 of us. We were eating. I ordered a burger, never got my burger. And they said, "Oh, well, we're remaking." It was a medium rare burger. So literally it takes 10 minutes to make. And I'm watching burgers flying out of the restaurant and mine never showed up. And
you were paying the bill.
And then they charged me. And my wife. They charged my wife's for. I go, "No, I'm not paying for hers and I'm not paying for mine." I said, "I'm sorry."
You didn't get it.
Right. And I never go out to a restaurant and pull out, "I own a restaurant" card. you know.
Right.
But that night I go, I own a restaurant, and when we have a problem, we stop everything and fix the problem. Because
Yep.
one bad customer or one bad review or one bad
Yep.
experience is going to lead to 10 other ones, because people want to
Right.
jump on the bandwagon, and
Right.
I said, we don't let that happen. And we immediately will comp anybody's food. If you say, well, my toast was not, was cold. Oh, okay. Either we'll do half off, or we'll give you, we have little cards that say 50% off your next thing. We'll give you that, or we'll just comp the meal. We don't want you to have a bad experience. And if you do, we understand that you do have a bad experience. Okay. We can't be 100% perfect, but we can make it as perfect as we can. So,
Right.
and communication is the key. And my staff knows exactly what to do in those situations. And they go to the manager. The waitresses don't take it upon themselves to handle the situation. They go to the manager on duty. The manager takes care of it. If it's something that's extraordinary, they'll call me. Usually that doesn't happen. So it's all about working together, communicating, and being present in whatever situation you're doing, regardless how busy you are.
Right. Right. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Absolutely. So what is one of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome in your career? You've had a lot of years to do what you're doing, which is, like I said, impressive. What huge challenge you had to overcome over the years? I mean,
Well,
Corona
right
was
now
one of them.
we're dealing with eggs right now.
Yeah. Eggs.
You're talking
Who thought?
$115 for a 15 dozen case of eggs. $115. Like, that is insane. Like, what are you going to do? We got to raise prices. Unfortunately, the consumer pays,
Right.
Here in Florida, the challenges lately have become hurricanes.
Yeah.
COVID was a big one. Nobody knew what was going to happen with that.
Yep.
What started off as the worst thing that could ever happen to us. We came off the best February we've ever had in the history of the restaurant in 2020. Best February ever. We were just like high-fiving. I was buying stuff from my staff and just, giving them gifts and congratulations. And you guys did amazing. March came, the bottom fell out. And that's when COVID started. And that was the biggest challenge. We didn't know what was going to happen. We're all of a sudden they're telling us you can only have 25% people in your restaurant. And then they shut us down for a period of time. Luckily in Florida, we were able to open back up before everybody else. But
Yep.
and then the government stepped in with the PPP money and all that, which nobody knew that was going to happen.
Right.
And we usually save money in the season to carry us through the summer. And that was I would have to say, the biggest challenge. The housing market crash, that was a challenge. So it's all these external things. We've never had anything happen to us in the restaurant. I mean, an occasional, a piece of equipment would break or something like that, but nothing major that we had to overcome other than external things, hurricanes, housing market crash, BP oil spill. Nobody was coming to Florida because they didn't want to go to the the west coast of Florida because they didn't want to go in the Gulf and to swim. And, then the COVID, and now we're dealing with mad cow disease. Avian flu has been, this is like the third time that's happened, but this by far is the worst. And now I really have to be diligent and keep watching what's going on, because the next thing they're saying is ground beef is going to be the next problem. So
From eggs to ground beef.
yeah, any kind of beef. So the only thing with beef is that we import beef. So hopefully that will ramp up before, but they're already predicting that there's stuff going on with the cows and, so
Wow.
we just have to keep chugging along. And I've never had to raise prices 3 times a year like I am now. I used to raise them once every 3 years. Now it's 3 times a year.
Right. Well, when your eggs are double, more than double. What are they now?
Oh my God! I used to pay
$8.
$8. I paid $8 a case back in the day. Now I'm paying $115.
Wow. Wow.
And you just can't go. You can't go to the farm and buy eggs. You have to buy them from a supplier. It's not like you're at home and you can put a cage and start making your own eggs. We can't do that here. But
no. Food quality is the health inspectors really frown on that, don't they?
right.
So it sounds like things are going pretty well for you. You've been doing this for a long time, and looking forward to the future. Wondering what you do to create passive income, and what's your investment strategy once you make some money.
So you mean like passive income, like something like extra income?
Yeah, so passive income, like I said, we do multifamily. We buy an apartment complex, and then it creates passive income. So their tenants pay the rents. There's other ways of passive income. Some people consider stocks. I've never done really well in stocks. But how would once you make your money, what do you do with it basically?
Yeah, I basically just invested. We bought our house in Ohio. Fortunately, we were able to pay cash for that, and from the rest, it would. We've been able to do a lot of different things. Um, right now, I just pretty much do different investments. There's um, I keep looking at different things that we can get into. Like oil is one thing that, we're looking
Yep,
at maybe investing into a pump or something, that a friend of
there you
mine
go.
is in Texas and he handles that. He calls me all the time. He's like, hey, you should get into this. It's a big return, those type of things. Land, I've invested in different land uh, things that there's companies that go out and they buy the land and then they lease it to these developers to build on. And then as they build on it, that's the return that you get for the investment. And then they end up selling the land and then move on to the next project. So
There you
those
go.
are those are interesting investments.
Yes, they are. Absolutely. We're
Yeah.
doing one right now. Um, as we're wrapping up the interview, thanks you for everything. I do appreciate it. Could you do me a favor and tell me what you got planned in the works? We had talked about this, and I want the listeners to understand what you got planned for the next 6 to 12 months and beyond.
The next 6 to 12 months is just continuing to watch what it is that we're doing and try to improve. We want to ramp up our catering again. We used to do a lot more catering pre-COVID. Since COVID, it's kind of dropped off, but we've been marketing ourselves. I've been contacting companies from before, just letting them know that we're out there. Just try to keep uh, advertising those type of things to keep people interested in what it is that we're doing. And then we're constantly trending. Like I'm going to a food show in Fort Lauderdale on Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I go there and people have this impression that food shows, oh, they just want to sell you, products that you don't really need. I go, no, that's not what it's about. It's about it's about selling yourself to these brokers because yeah, they want to have their stuff on your shelf, but at the same time, if you look at 10 things, I guarantee 3 of those or 4 of those you're going to develop something out of. And that's the mindset that I do going into a food. So we're constantly trying to be what's trending. Um, Here, in Florida, it's a big, vegetarian population. So we try to implement those things. And then as we move into summer, we want to make sure that we get the restaurant prepared for the following season. So it's cleaning and, getting rid of
Painting.
whatever's not working right or whatever. Fix it. What do we need? I always check in with them. What do we need? What do you guys need to be successful? So that's the big thing. We don't have to
Nice.
worry about help because we don't have an issue with help. And that's crazy
That's
to me
rare. That's
too.
a big problem nowadays for most
Yeah,
most businesses.
yeah. My friends that have restaurants here near me, but around here, they're like, well, you know how it is. We can't keep help, and I'm like, they go, you know how that is though, and I go, no, no, I don't. Sorry. I mean, maybe we'll lose one person or something, but it it's not a high turnover rate. And they go, well, what do you do? I go, well, it starts right here. It starts with you.
Exactly.
You have to be okay with them and with yourself. If you're not, they're going to notice it and they're not going to, drama. I always say drama doesn't live here. So if you want to come in with your drama, it's not going to work. So
You won't last long.
it's the it's a cliche. Why do my eggs taste so good? Oh, because we put love into them. We put love. That, That's it.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. My wife cooks and she makes amazing meals, and it's because she loves what she does. I know exactly what you're talking about. And if you don't have, if you don't have love for the game, you're probably not going to be any good at the game.
Right.
Well, listen, Caro, I can't thank you enough. I really do appreciate what you're doing and the insights you gave our listeners. Really do appreciate it. If you do me a favor, let everybody know how they get in contact you, the name of the restaurant, where it's at, the address, and come in and have a great meal. Next time I come to Naples, I'll definitely stop by.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Ciro Amato. I'm with Goldie's Restaurant. We're at 5400 Taylor Road in Naples, beautiful Naples, Florida. It's beautiful, sunny, warm today.
Every day.
Yep. And we're open Monday through Saturday. We're closed on Sunday. We're open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Nice. All right. The address?
5400 Taylor Road, Naples, Florida.
I wanted to lead with that. All right. Listen, I can't appreciate enough what you've done for the listeners, and thank you for your time. We're going to sign off right now and say goodbye, and we'll talk to you all later.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Driven, the Unscripted Success Podcast. Want to share your story? Apply to be a guest at drivensuccesspodcast.com/guest.